For 1% of the country actually uses ultrasound guided technology to inject, and we're a part of that 1%. So today we are going to test a couple things out. It is going to be super interesting. We're going to use the ultrasound machine to see what hyaluronic acid actually looks like underneath the skin, and if we can actually pinpoint it. But we're going to take it a couple steps further, because I think that ultrasound technology really is what's going to push this industry to another level that's going to make it safer. So from there, we're actually going to use my tattoo as so we have a marker as to where that filler is, identify with the ultrasound machine, and then we're going to put Hylenex. For those who don't know what Hylenex is, it's hyaluronidase. It's the enzyme that breaks down hyaluronic acid. You have it floating naturally in your body. Same way you have hyaluronic acid naturally floating in your body. So it should dissolve relatively quick. I think this is going to be very interesting. We're going to use Wrestling Lift.
First, so that we don't hurt poor Jacob, we're going to put lidocaine.
All right, so right now what she's doing is she's injecting just 0.1 of 1% lidocaine, just to numb it up so she can go in and out if she wanted to without me screaming and looking like a wimp on video.
He'll do that anyways.
Okay, so before we inject hyaluronic acid, we're actually going to see what the baseline looks like with no hyaluronic acid. So, all right, so this is my skin right here, and this, you see as I flex, how this looks more like black. This is muscle.
Those are muscle fibers.
And then this is a fascia here. So this is my gain. You see my gains?
All right, let's continue.
That's that creatine, baby.
Let's continue.
So she's just aspirating to make sure that she's not in a blood vessel. I see the skin slightly raising.
0.1, 0.2.
So now we're gonna take the ultrasound machine and we're gonna see what this looks like underneath the skin.
I'm excited.
It should look clear.
That's it right there.
Oh,
Oh my goodness.
there.
Right here.
That is hyaluronic acid filler. This is cool, because now we can visualize. The reason why it looks clear is because it's hyaluronic acid, mostly made of water, right? And it's very hydrophilic. It's actually gonna draw water into that area. As the hyaluronic acid gets older, the filler, you're gonna see it starts to lose its moisture, and you'll see this actually change. It'll start to turn a little bit more gray. Oh, perfect.
There.
I see it. I'll point it up.
All right, you see this right there? You see that little stick?
There it goes.
All right, go ahead,
All right,
flood
ready?
it.
Whoa.
Completely starts to, now it's turning gray.
Done.
Whoa.
Boom, gone. Right now I'm over the area that we marked. It was by this tattoo. And you can see there's gray, all gray in here. You see a little remnants, which you'll see that in a couple hours, that'll just go away.
Nice.
That was cool.
Yeah.
So some fillers don't dissolve that easily. It's kind of like I like to use Wrestling Lift. It's a good product. Some of them don't dissolve, but this is why it's so good to have an ultrasound machine, because even if we're not having to dissolve, we can find out where the vessels are. You actually want to show them like a vessel?
Sure.
All right, so I'm going to switch here. Let's go to color Doppler. This is probably it right here.
Mhm. Right there.
I'm going to tilt this here. There you go.
There it
And
is.
So even if they don't dissolve as easily, because we want to use the right tool for the right job, right? We want to make sure that we get the job done so you look aesthetically pleasing. We can actually figure out, okay, how do we avoid this artery here? And this is pulsatile blood flow, so we know that it is an artery, and she can press down on it. It's kind of hard. You can see all this black right here is because it's hard to make contact. My radial artery is a little bit, it's not typically where it's found. And that is my radial artery. There is variance, and this is where ultrasound actually helps. Not all of our vessels are going to be in the same area. We know, and this is like, you look at, when people go to these courses, and I think that's where they fall into this pitfall, is because they're looking at, they're looking at one cadaver, or they're looking at a picture of what the vasculature looks like, but it varies. It varies depending on ethnicity. There was a study conducted out of Malaysia where they saw a whole bunch of cadavers, and they saw that they have one dorsal nasal artery that was twice as large in the radial circumference than what you typically find. And you know, they inject me all the time for touch-ups, and there was one time you did get a positive aspiration right here right on top of the bone, which is typically where you don't find vessels. But using this now, we can make it so much safer. 1% of the country actually uses ultrasound guided technology to inject, and we're part of that 1%. So we're proud to say that, you know, we do everything in our power to make sure that you're safe when you come to get refreshed.
For sure.
Because it's about being the most well-trusted brand in America when it comes to injectables. And I'm proud to be surrounded by the best team ever. Peace.